So we're going to start this morning in a cross-legged position, Sukhasana. But if you're comfortable with half lotus, if that's not going to be aggravating to the hip in any way, take the outside of one foot into the crease of the opposite hip and thigh. And then sit tall and close your eyes. Just take a moment to settle in. Recalling the peaceful feeling that resides here on your mat. And as you anchor the sit bones towards the earth, lift through the crown of the head and create space in the spine. Almost like a string of pearls, just let the vertebrae dangle down from the crown all the way to the root. As the chin draws in slightly, let the back of the skull lift. And continue to keep the heart open as the shoulders soften down your back. And then observe belly breathing. So just watch the rise and fall of the abdomen. And if you find that the breath starts in the chest, try your best to drop it down into the navel. Each inhalation, belly swells. Each exhalation, the navel hugs the back body, drawing towards the spine. These smooth abdominal breaths are very calming to the nervous system, so they help take us out of the mind where we operate most of the time and bring us back down into the body. Now you can add in that soft ujjayi sound, the ocean wave or whisper type sound to the breath. And that little tool is another helpful guide for the mind to hear that we're breathing, to feel and listen for the sound of the breath to be equal on inhalation and exhalation. And then you may find that the body wants to grow the breath as you become more peaceful. So belly swells on inhalation and then send it up into the rib cage and feel the rib cage widen to the side. On the exhalation, navel will still hug back towards the spine and the rib cage will come closer together. So a little bit more now of a two-part breath. Inhaling belly, then ribs. Exhaling belly, then ribs. And then grow that breath to a complete diaphragmatic breath. So we'll inhale into the belly, let the rib cage expand, and now chest opens, sending the breath all the way to the collarbones. As you exhale, navel still draws back towards the spine, rib cage comes closer together, and then the chest softens. So maybe the length of your breath has grown slightly, and you want to find a pattern that you think is sustainable. Something that even if you're in a more challenging posture, you'll be able to breathe deep and steady. Good. One more like this, please. And then take a moment to relax all effort. Just let everything settle. Let the body's intelligence find the natural rhythm, the effortless rhythm in the body. And this idea of knowing how to play in those two worlds, the world of effort and letting go. In the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali talks about these two qualities as abhyasa and vairagyam. Abhyasa is the practice, the effort that we make to reach the goals that we seek. And vairagyam is a deep sense of renunciation or letting go. And both of these two are necessary to reach our goal. And just for a moment, reflect on which one you think is more dominant in your life. Do you have a tendency to work, 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 try harder, push, push, push? Or do you have the tendency to let go, to surrender, to go with the flow? And he's very clear in that these are like two wings of a bird. So we don't want to have too much emphasis in one over the other. And he talks about it again in asana when he refers to asana as sthira sukha asanam, that asana, posture practice, is meant to be both steady and comfortable. It is the right balance of effort and ease. So take a moment here to release, if you were in half lotus, release the foot that was there and switch sides. So grab the outside edge of the opposite foot, taking it into the crease of the hip and thigh. And notice if there's any imbalance. One side may be feeling a little tighter than the other. And in the side that's tighter, can you find greater ease? And then bring your hands together in front of your heart. Bow your head to your hands. And we're just going to set the intention for the practice today to play in these two areas. This efforting that we're very familiar with in our culture, and finding a deep sense of surrender. And sometimes we can push ourselves to a certain edge, but as soon as we let go, the boundary of that edge dissolves, and the space that we find is much greater. So we're going to work a little bit in that today. If there's anything that you want to add to that intention to make that more personal, please state that mentally now. And we'll surround it with love and begin with the chant of Om 3 times. Remember, Om has 3 parts, A, O, and A vibrating the lower portion of the spine, O the middle portion, and the upper portion. So deep inhale here. And long exhale out. Another deep inhale. And then just gently lower your chin to your chest. Release your fingers down to either side on the floor, fingers in a finger stand. Draw the chin towards the chest. Let the back of the neck lengthen. And just take a few moments here to feel that stretch along the back side of the body. Maybe all the way down the sides of the spine, towards the sacrum. And then tilt just the right ear to the right shoulder. We're going to stay there for a few moments. So breathing into it, return to that pattern of breath, belly, ribs, chest, exhaling, belly, ribs, chest. And see if the longer you stay, the more softness comes in, more space. Keep reaching your fingertips into the floor, feeling as if you could make an imprint there. So there's the efforting, and then in the neck, the letting go. And then lower the chin back down to the center, to the chest, and see if there's any difference. And now take the left ear to the left shoulder. Same thing, really reach into the fingertips. And feel that left ear softening, right side of the neck opening. Breathe into it. Good. One more full breath here. Keep letting go. And then slowly come back to center. Let the chin release down and notice if there's any difference. So we're going to release the feet now into Badakonasana, which is a little early, so be mindful if you need to prop your hips up on a blanket or bolster, but the soles of the feet are going to come together, and then we're just going to hook the index middle thumb around the big toe. Lean back, so instead of coming into the forward bend, we're just going to keep the spine tall, draw the chin in, and then feel the length of the arms here. So really, if you have extra long arms, maybe wrap your hands around the soles of your feet instead. We want to feel the tops of the shoulders getting a beautiful stretch as we lean back, lift the sternum, engage the muscles of the back body. Of course, keep releasing through the hips to the best of your ability. Those inner thighs get a beautiful stretch here. And then reestablish that breath, so belly, ribs, chest. Exhaling, belly, ribs, and chest. Just feel as you continue to let go, more and more space along the tops of the shoulders, through the arms. Good. And then just for a brief moment, we're going to lean forward, but don't go to your depth. Again, we're just warming up here. So just come forward as long as you can keep the spine straight. So no rounding of the upper back at all. There's no goal to get to. We just want to give a little bit of stretch along that posterior muscle chain. Full, complete breaths here. Neck is neutral. One more deep Ujjayi breath. And then lean back, and as you lean back, you're going to lift your feet up, engage your core, balance here right on the edge of the sit bones. Continue to bring the sternum forward through the shoulders, neck long. Reach the navel toward the feet. One more breath here. And then gently bring them back down. Extend the arms long to the knees and just take a moment to feel. Very nice. We'll move into tabletop position, please. So if you were on a bolster or a blanket, you just clear that off your mat. Hands are going to go under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of the feet press firmly into the floor. On the inhale, lift the heart, lift the sit bones, look up. On the exhalation, draw the navel to the spine, round the back, take the sit bones to the heels, child's pose. Good. Inhale, stand on your knees, bring your arms up and over your head, lift and lengthen through your core. And then exhale, take your hands to your sacrum, bring the forehead to the floor. Inhale the arms out wide as you lift and rise. And then exhale, bow down to child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Lift your heart, lift your sit bones, look up. Exhale, draw the navel to the spine, round the back. Take the sit bones to the heels, child's pose. Inhale, stand on the knees, bring the arms up and over the head, lift and lengthen through your core. Exhale, take the hands to the sacrum and bring the forehead to the floor. Inhale the arms out wide as you lift and rise all the way up. And exhale, bow down to child's pose. Again, inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's. Inhale, stand on the knees, arms reach, lengthen. Exhale, hands to sacrum, forehead to floor. Inhale the arms out wide as you rise. And exhale, bow down to child's pose. And we're going to stay here now. Reach the arms as far as they'll go. You can widen the knees if you'd like. Let the heart soften towards the earth. If you want to lift up onto the fingertips for a minute, lifting the inner palm, let the heart dip just a little closer towards the earth. And then place the palms flat. Now feel some extension here. So walk your right fingertips a little longer than your left. Plant the hand and feel the traction along the right side. And then other side, walk the left fingertips just a little longer than the right. Plant the hand and just soften. Feel that surrender, releasing and creating more space in the process. And note both hands equally long. Good. Walking to the right, we're going to press the left sit bone down, bow the rib cage, just opening up the lateral a little bit here. Let the left hip soften down. And then plant your right hand into the floor, elbow pointing up in the air at a right angle, and then just tilt the left shoulder down a little bit more. So you're just going to dip into that shoulder. Head and neck is relaxed. Just a very slight twist for the upper body. And come back to center, and we'll walk to the left side. So let the right sit bone soften down, bow the right rib cage, open up that lateral. And then plant the left hand into the floor, elbow pointing up. Just push down into the hand and let the right shoulder dip down a little bit more, so a slight twist here. And then come back to center. From tabletop position, we're going to go back to downward facing dog by lifting the heart, lifting the sit bones, look up, tuck the toes, and reach the hips up and back. So find your feet hip distance apart. Turn the toes in slightly, heels out, rolling the inner thighs in and back. Allow the sit bones to spread, so really lift the tailbone as high as you can. Engage the legs so the quads are strong. They're going to hold the weight of the body. And then continue to elongate the spine, so head and neck is soft, letting it just really hang from the hips. In the upper body, roll your shoulder heads away from your ears, squeeze the inner elbows toward one another like there's a block between them, and press down firmly through the web of the index and thumb. Now, down dog teaches us a lot about that balance between effort and softness. If there's too much effort, it becomes a stressful posture. Too much softness and it doesn't feel supported. Keep releasing the areas you know you tend to grip in, like the neck, the face, the jaw. Surrender through the belly button, navel hugging the back body on exhalation. Last full breath here. Lift those hips even higher. And then just bring your knees to the floor and sit tall on your heels. As you sit tall on your heels, let your hands rest comfortably in your lap. And if you'd like to take this into that broken toe pose, which I just despise that name, tuck the toes under and sit on the toes. So we'll call this the metatarsal stretch pose instead. So as you tuck the toes underneath you and sit back on the heels, notice at first all the tension that might be there in the foot, and then how the body reacts to that. So do we find that we tend to clench another area, like the jaw or the face, to try to effort through it? Or can you find a sense of letting go and relaxation? Can you find your breath? One more here. And then we'll place the tops of the toes down now. So we'll stretch those metatarsals in a different direction. So you're going to point your fingertips toward your feet, lean back, and just lift your knees off the floor. And so we're going to stretch the top of the foot, the tops of the toes. Keep opening up the heart, lifting the sternum. That front line gets a nice opening here. One more breath. And then bring the knees back down. Tuck your toes under again. Come back up into a very short downward facing dog. And then open the feet to hip distance. Turn the toes out, heels in. And walk your hands back to your sinking into squat. So you're just going to allow the hips to lower. Elbows move on the insides of the legs. Hands into prayer position. And then press the elbows into the knees to widen them apart. Full, complete breaths here, opening up into those hips. And finding the breath steady and even. And again, that beautiful balance here of efforts and relaxation and letting go. Last one. And placing the palms flat, straighten the arms, straighten the legs, turn the toes in, and come into a wide foot spreading posture. Come into hip distance apart in standing forward fold. So walk your fingertips back with your feet hip distance apart. Take a moment to place your hands onto your shins. Push your chest away from your thighs. Elongate your spine. Create a flat back. And then exhale and melt over the legs and soften. And we're going to stay in the standing forward fold here. Just allowing the upper body to really release. Notice if you have a tendency to sink in the heels. So come forward a little bit in the balls of the feet if you need to. And also we have a tendency to roll to the outer foot, so feel the inner foot. Maybe the inner line of energy going all the way up to the inner groin, to the pubic bone. Breathe here as you release and surrender the spine over the legs. Notice the upper body, letting that go, head and neck, spacious. And the longer we stay here, again, you first find the efforting. And then can we find the balance with that vairagyam, that letting go? Moving through the layers of tension and allowing them to release. Keep softening. A couple more breaths here. Lift your hips just a little higher. And then interlace your fingers behind your back, Yoga Mudra. Take your knuckles up and away from you and stretch out your shoulders. And same thing here, pull the shoulder heads away from the ears.
If you can, squeeze the heels of the hands together and keep reaching the knuckles away from the crown of the head. Softening down, navel hugs the back body as you surrender a little more. And any of that tension that likes to build up in the shoulders, just feeling that release here. Each time you exhale, feel the body softening. Can you relax more space through those shoulders? And then release the hands, slide them down the backs of the legs just 3 times, coaxing the back of the legs to let go of any trying, just melt sensation. And since we were down here for a while, we want to be mindful to come up slowly. So hands are going to press into the shins. Extend the spine to halfway from monkey pose. Again, you're engaging the tips of the muscles of the trapezius down the back. So as you pull those down toward the hips, the sternum comes forward. Shoulders release away from the ears. Keep breathing. And then bring your hands to hips and just come to 3/4 of the way up. Squeeze the elbows back a little bit so heart stays open. Neck is neutral. Pressing equally into both feet. And then slowly come the rest of the way up. And just take your time here for a moment to stand in samastiti and feel the rest of the blood leveling out. Full, complete breath. So we'll stay at the back of our mats here and prepare for a variation of Sun Salutation Pranavayu. Feet are going to be hip distance apart. Hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, you're going to sink into chair. And if you can keep going, go a little deeper towards squat. And then inhale, come forward into tabletop position. Spread the collarbones wide. Exhale, tuck the toes, find downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward to the fingertips. Spin the back foot flat for warrior 1. Heel to heel alignment. Inhale as you rise up. Front knees bent, hips are squared. Now stay for the exhale and soften the shoulders down the back while keeping the heart lifted. Inhale, straighten your front leg and squeeze the muscle to the bone. And then exhale, lengthen by reaching the fingertips as far forward as you can. And then fingertips touch the floor. Pivot on the ball of the back foot for high lunge. Shin bone reaches away from the back heel, back leg is straight. And exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to modify the vinyasa, so inhale to plank position, bring the knees to the floor, squeeze the elbows tight into the side as the belly comes down, tops of the feet ground. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Then the left leg is going to step forward to the fingertips. Spin the back foot flat for warrior 1. Inhale, come all the way up. Front knees bent, hips are squared. Stay for the exhale. Relax the shoulders down your back. Inhale, straighten the front leg, squeeze muscle to bone. Exhale, like someone's pulling your arms and spine forward. Lengthen till the fingertips touch. Pyramid pose, inhale, pivot on the ball of the back foot. High lunge, fingers in a finger stand. Back leg is strong. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to take 5 full breaths here. So in our 5 breaths, remember those alignment principles we just worked a few moments ago. Keep checking in. Quads are strong. Let the big muscles of the legs hold the weight of the body. Head and neck is soft. At the completion of your 5th breath, we're going to inhale, bring the knees to the floor for tabletop. Heart lifts, sit bones lift. Exhale, walk back to squat. And if you need to stay on the balls of the feet to do that, that's okay. Hands in prayer. Inhale, press all the way up to standing. Reach the arms overhead. Feet are still hip distance and parallel. Exhale, forward fold. Hook the index, middle thumb around your big toe. Inhale, pull away. Straighten your arms, straighten your spine. Only if you can straighten legs. And then exhale, bend knees, bend elbows, relax head and neck. Inhale, release, lean back to chair. Stay for the exhale, sink a little deeper like you're moving towards squat. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to heart. So that's one round. It's a long one. So let's do it again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, sink into chair. If you can keep going towards squat, go ahead. Inhale, tabletop position. Spread the collarbones wide. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Right leg steps forward to the fingertips. Spin the back foot flat for warrior one. Heel to heel alignment. Inhale, come up. Exhale, stay. Relax the shoulders down the back. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Elongate. And exhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen over that leg. And the fingertips get to the floor. Pivot on the ball of the back foot. High lunge position. Send the heart forward. And exhale, downward facing dog. Traditional vinyasa here. If you want to come forward into plank position and leave the knees lifted, that's fine. Chaturanga. If the knees are lifted, come into up dog, otherwise cobra. And exhale to downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward to the fingertips. Spin the back foot flat. Inhale up for warrior one. Stay. Exhale. Soften those shoulders. Inhale, straighten. Elongate. Exhale, fold. Neutral spine till you get to the bottom. Inhale, pivot. Fingers in a finger stand. High lunge. Heart is forward through the shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Slow, deep diaphragmatic breathing. Ujjayi. Notice if there's any area that you're over-efforting, try to relax it. Anything that you're not engaging that needs to be engaged, and start to work at that. And then bring the knees to the floor. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the sit bones, tabletop. Exhale, you're going to walk back to squat, tucking those toes under, hands at prayer at the heart. Inhale, press up to standing, elongate the spine, feet are parallel, exhale, forward fold. Hook the index, middle thumb around your big toe. Inhale, pull away. It's like your monkey pose, extend. And then exhale, navel in, fold over the legs. Inhale, lean back to chair. Stay for that exhale. You can move a little deeper into it. And then inhale, press into the feet, extend up. And exhale, hands to heart. We're just going to do one more, total of 3. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, chair. Or if you want to keep going towards squat, inhale, tabletop position. Extend the heart, lift the sit bones. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg forward to the fingertips. Spin the back foot flat for warrior one. Front knees bent to start. Inhale. Exhale, stay. Inhale, straighten. Elongate. Exhale, fold. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Inhale, pivot. High lunge. Exhale, down dog. Okay, so if you want to challenge your vinyasa, you're going to keep your feet together. You're going to stay on the balls of the feet the whole time. So inhale, come forward through plank into up dog. Then exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back to up dog. Shoulders away from ears. Exhale, down dog. Left leg goes forward. Warrior one. Inhale. Exhale, stay. Relax. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pivot. Exhale, down dog, 5 full breaths. Keep rolling those shoulders away from the ears. You often find that there are these areas that most of us tend to over-engage in, and that's the shoulders, the neck, the face. Keep surrendering the belly on exhalation. Slowing and stabilizing that breath. And on your next inhale, bring the knees to the floor. Heart lifts, sit bones lift as you look up. Exhale, walk back to squat. Hands at prayer at the heart. Inhale, press all the way up to standing. Elongate the spine. Exhale, fold. Hook index, middle thumb around your big toe. Inhale, pull away. Create as much space as possible. Exhale, fold into it. Inhale, lean back to chair. Stay, go a little deeper on the exhale. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. And now just be here for a moment, either keeping your hands at your heart or down by your side. Samastiti, eyes closed, just rest. And then start to regulate the breath when you're able to. Belly, ribs, chest on inhale, belly, ribs, chest on exhale. Okay, last one here. Now, if you have blocks, you may want to have them somewhere near the middle of your mat. You may or may not need them, but then they're there. We're going to stay at the back of the mat. And then turn your left toes out to just a slight angle and step your right foot forward to a comfortable distance. Feet are about hip distance apart. So as you step forward, you want to be level with your hips. Hips are facing forward, hands go on to the sacrum. Inhale, lift your left arm up in the air. Elongate that left side body, so feel that stretch along the lateral. And then exhale and just come down to halfway. Inhale, press into the feet. Use the breath to lift you as you come back up into standing. And repeat that again. Exhale, come forward, but this time we're going to go to 3/4 of the way. So long, neutral spine. Press into the feet. Inhale, come back up. And this time we're going to go all the way, whatever all the way is for you. So keep reaching into the ball of the front foot, the heel of the back foot for stability. Come all the way down. And then inhale, press into the feet, squeeze the inner thighs toward the midline and come back up. Good. Exhale, go all the way down again, and this time we're going to stay. So think of lengthen, 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 like someone's pulling your arm, spine away from you, and then soften both hands down. Now here's where you may want to have them on a block. On either side of the foot, that's perfectly fine. But we're going to bring our fingers into a finger stand. Inhale, bring the heart forward. Elongate like you're in monkey pose. Exhale, melt over the leg. Do that again. Inhale, pull forward like you're in monkey pose, sternum reaching away from pubic bone, get a little more space, and then exhale, melt into that space. Last one like this, please. Use your breath. And now here we're going to stay. So again, we're going to find that perfect balance between effort and ease. You want to push into the ball of the front foot, press to the heel of the back foot, and squeeze the inner thighs like they're holding up a block. So the legs are firm, and that's what we find in most of these postures, is that it's the foundation that's efforting. And then in the upper body, we're going to really let go. So surrender through the navel, through the spine, through the head and neck. Make room for the breath so it's not strained or stressed. Of course, you can have that micro bend in your front knee if you need it. But keep pulling that right hip back. Couple more breaths. Can you feel the layers releasing? Very nice. Now, fingers in a finger stand. Lift your chest halfway up again. Now, here's where we may want to have the block if you weren't using them for the other portion. And you can either take the block underneath your left shoulder and the left hand will go on it, or you can take the block to the outside of the right foot and the hand will go on it. But either way, right hand to the sacrum, lift your chest away from your thigh and feel that you're halfway again, you're parallel. Then rotate the navel to the right and then take the right arm up in the air. And now extend the fingers away from one another. Elongate the heart, both front and back. Keep reaching the heel from the crown so you can make as much space in the vertebrae as possible so that the rotation is a little deeper. A couple more breaths here. Keep squeezing those inner thighs toward the midline. Tension away from the shoulders, make room there. One more breath. And then melt over that leg again. See if you can soften into just a little more space than you had a moment ago. And then step that front foot back. Turn the toes out, heels in. Sink back into squat as we did before. Elbows on the insides of the legs, palms together. And now just melt into the heat you've created. Let that really open up the pelvic floor, the hips. Find your breath here. One more. Bring your hands to the floor, straighten your legs, turn your toes back in, fold over the legs, and then inhale the arms out wide as you lift and rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart your way. Good. We're going to do the other side. So if you look at your feet, have your feet hip distance apart. Turn your right toes out now to a slight angle and step your left foot forward to a comfortable distance. Again, you're about hip distance apart, so find that your hips are squared and facing forward. Take your hands onto your sacrum. Inhale the right arm up in the air. Exhale, lengthen down just to halfway. So try to keep the neck, torso, tailbone in a straight line. Anchor into the feet. Inhale, come back up. Repeat that again. Exhale, come down now 3/4 of the way. Try to get that arm to stay in alignment with your ear as best you can. And then activate that upper back. That's probably the hardest part, efforting as you come back up to standing. And one more, we're going to go down all the way. Lengthen like someone's pulling your arm and spine away. Let the fingers touch for a moment if you're there. And then again, engage the upper back, extend, and come up. And now go all the way back down to stay. So lengthen. Squeeze the inner thighs. And now fingertips can both come down to the floor. Hands can rest on those blocks if you need them, or just keep the hands on the ground. Push the ball of the front foot away from the back heel. Squeeze the inner thighs toward the midline. Imagine they're holding up a block. Now, fingers in a finger stand. We're going to pull the chest away from the thigh. Create room in the spine, and then exhale, take the navel back and melt into that space. Do it again. Inhale, pull forward. Extend, elongate, create the space. Exhale, melt into it. One more, inhale. And exhale. Now we're going to stay and just breathe and observe. Keep that base engaged. That's your foundation. Let the upper body soften. Keep letting go. Feel those layers releasing. Notice where you might be holding. Where are areas that it feels like, oh, I don't want to go there? Can you take the breath into those spaces? See if you can get some room, some space. Perfect balance of effort and ease. Good, one more here. Now come back up into a finger stand. Here's where you might want your block. So again, block can go under the right hand, right shoulder, or to the outside of the foot. Place the hand on the block, left hand on the sacrum, rotate the navel to the left now. And then if you want, take the left arm straight up in the air. Squeeze the inner thighs toward the midline. Take shoulders away from one another, so we're not going to crunch in the shoulders in any way. Room in the front and back of the heart. Breathe here. Engaging those legs, navel rotates deeper with the support of the foundation. One more. Good. Now melt over that leg, soften down, step back to the back of your mat, and then find forward fold for a moment. Widen your stance, turn your toes out, heels in, sink down into squat. Elbows on the insides of the legs, hands in prayer at the heart. And then just breathe. And let all that heat open up the hips. Find your breath again. There's so much effort in that last posture that we have to find those places we can be soft. And then hands down to the floor. Turn the toes back in, straighten your legs. Forward fold. Notice the room. Inhale the arms out wide, lift and rise all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to heart your way. Take a moment here in Samastiti and just feel what's shifting. In particular, notice how the nervous system's responding. Okay, so still at the back of your mat. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold, navel to spine. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose, so you can have your hands on your shins or floor, crown away from tailbone. And now exhale, step forward into plank position. And we're going to hold plank for a moment. So it's a great place to practice how to engage, but also stay relaxed. So navel is firm, legs are firm, pressing into the hands so you're lifting the space behind the heart. And at the same time, can you keep the mind cool, the face relaxed, anything that you can to find that balance. And now let the left knee come down, spin the right foot flat, lift the right arm up in the air and come into side plank level 1. Inhale the top arm over the head, elongate through the side body. Now exhale, bend the elbow, rotate the navel to the right and open up the heart here. Inhale the top arm over the head again. Exhale, bend the elbow, rotate navel to the right, open up the heart, squeeze the shoulder down the back. Inhale again, one more. Good, now straighten the arm, back up, turn your back toes back, come all the way up to standing like someone's pulling that hand behind you. And now we're going to prepare for Parigasana gate pose. So those toes are pointing straight back, right toes are angled in slightly, press to the outside edge of the foot, right hand to thigh, inhale the left arm up, elongate this left side body, and exhale, now float to the right. And here we're going to stay. So tailbone absorbs into the body, lift the lower belly, and then continue to find this beautiful balance of effort and ease. Inhale, you might lift out of the posture a little to get more room. Exhale, you might soften down, but you don't have to exaggerate that. That'll just naturally happen. If space opens up, allow the body to melt down a little deeper. Good. One more. Now we're going to lift this left arm back up in the air. You're going to take it back under the shoulder where we were a moment ago into that side plank. Turn your toes so they point towards the right foot, and you can either stay here or you can balance into full side plank, stacking the feet. Right fingertips reach away from you. Again, another posture with a lot of effort. So where can I find places to be soft? To balance that out. Keep lifting the hips, lift the rib cage, engaging that side body. And then bring the right hand down, back to plank position. Hover there for just a moment. Stabilize. Again, same as that side plank, finding places where you can be soft. And then bring the right knee down, spin the back foot flat, lift the left arm up, you're back to this side plank level 1 variation. Rooting down through that right hand, inhale the left arm up and over your head, elongating the side body. There's the lateral stretch. Exhale, bend the elbow, rotate the navel to the left. Inhale, come back up. Left arm over the head, elongate, stretch away from the outer foot. Exhale, squeeze the elbow, lift the chest. Again, inhale. Full, complete breath into that lung. And now exhale, squeeze the navel back. Rotate to the left. Inhale the left arm straight up in the air. And now as you come up, you're going to turn those toes back behind you and slowly pull up with that left hand. All right, so the left toes are back behind you. Press to the outside edge of the left foot now. Inhale the right arm up. Extend the right side body and exhale, float down the left. Keep the tailbone absorbing in, lower belly lifting. Vairagyasana gate pose. Head of the shoulder stays down into its socket, so make some room between the shoulder and the ear. Keep checking in with that lower spine. So as you pull the lower belly in and up, it'll give it just a little extra support. And then that, again, like that saying before, that foundation allows the body to go, oh yeah, okay, we're safe here. And go down a little further. Two more breaths. Can you find those layers? Now, once again, that right hand is going to come back up. Feel like someone's pulling you back. We're going to go back to that side plank. So right hand goes under the shoulder. Turn the toes back so they now point toward the arch of the foot. Left arm is straight up in the air. That's option 1. Or you can go into that full side plank. Stacking the feet, lift the hips as high as you can. Lift through the rib cage, balance here. Breathe. Fingers reach up towards the heavens. Space in both shoulders. Where can I find places to be soft? Everything else has to stay engaged. Good. Back to plank position. Hover there for just a moment. Stabilize. And now bring knees to the floor. Squeeze the elbows tight into your sides as you come all the way down, tops of the feet ground. Inhale, just low cobra, low ribs on the floor, engaging that upper back. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. One more full breath here. And then rise onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, look at the hands, step or lightly hop your feet forward. Inhale to monkey pose, flat back. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. And again, exhale, hands to heart. Take a moment to settle. Let your energy find a beautiful flow through the body. Any area that feels like it's still holding on, let go. Balance of effort and ease. Complete breaths, belly, ribs, chest. Exhaling, belly, ribs, chest. Toes touching, space between the heels. Hands together in front of the heart. So we're moving into chair pose, and we're just going to have it with our legs together. Inhale, the arms reach up. And exhale, bend into chair. So squeeze the knees towards the midline. You get a nice firm base to the body. And then bring your hands down your center line. Take your left elbow to the right thigh. Prayer spinal twist. You can make a fist with your bottom hand, cup with your top, or have your hands in prayer. Now lower the hips down as best you can and reach your spine away from them. So not only are we making length in the spine, but we're also elevating it slightly. Squeeze those knees towards the midline, and there's going to be a tendency for one knee to pop in front of the other. So see if you can avoid that. Keeping them level. Breathe here. Lower those hips a little more. Lift the heart away. There's a lot of effort. Can you find the ease? Now melt over the legs, straighten them, soften into forward fold. Let your head and neck really hang, so you can just imagine it like a weight attached to the spine. Then bend your knees. Come back up into chair. We're going to bring the hands down the center line. And now right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. Again, you can make a fist with your bottom hand, cup with your top, or hands in prayer. Lower the hips down, lift the sternum away. So we want to have that zigzag shape to the body. Watch the tendency for one knee to pop in front of the other. Breathe deeply here. Keep rotating the navel to the left now. Where can I find a place to be soft, even in the midst of all this challenge, all this effort? Two more breaths. Letting some of that warmth build, that's lovely. And then as you exhale, fold over the legs and then just melt into that warmth. Let it soften the tension. Head and neck is relaxed. The last breath here. And then widen the feet, turn the toes out, heels in, and once again, bend down into that wide squat, elbows on the insides of the legs, hands in prayer. Settling into that pelvis. Spine is long, mind is quiet. Last breath here. And we're going to bring the hips down. Extend the legs out in front of us, so Dandasana, staff pose. Feet are together, flexed, hands are by the hips. If you have slightly longer arms, you may need to have the hands behind you. But we want to be able to press the base of the hand into the floor so we get, again, the beautiful stretch in the shoulders. Spine is tall. Breathe here. And this posture has efforting. You know, the leg muscles are engaged. The spinal muscles are engaged, but yet can we find a feeling of softness, feeling of balance between that effort and ease? Good. We're going to move into reverse table. So 2 variations. The first one is to bend the knees, Point the fingertips toward the sit bones and then press down into the hands, into the feet, and lift the spine. So Purvottanasana, hugging the back body to the front body, stretching into the tops of those shoulders. You can keep the chin in, have the neck neutral, just don't collapse the back of the neck. Breathe here. Belly, ribs, chest, exhaling, belly, ribs, chest. We'll start with this first option, getting the body familiar with the posture. One more breath. Lower the sit bones down, find Dandasana again, staff pose. Hands beside the hips, sit tall. Even though it's engaged, can you use it as a resting pose, neutral posture in between? Now you can repeat what we just did a moment ago, or you can go into reverse plank. So similar, you're going to place the fingertips, point them towards the hips. This time the legs and feet are going to stay together, and you're going to press down through the hands, lift the back body toward the front body, point the toes now towards the earth, and breathe here. Or you can go back into what we just did a moment ago in reverse table. But keep lifting that front body towards the heavens. If you're in that first variation, the reverse plank, it's a little more challenging, so just breathe here. One more breath. And lower those hips down, sit tall, find Dandasana, staff pose. Feel that sweet release. Good. And then just rotate wrists here for a moment. Give them a nice circle in one direction. Keep the spine tall. Rotate the wrists in the other direction. Just giving them a little bit of a break. Good. We're going to extend the left leg out to a slight angle. Bring the right foot in for Janu Shirsasana. And that foot to the inner thigh. Hips are open a little bit, but not as wide as they can be in this pose. So we're going to keep it a little more narrow. Inhale, the arms reach up. Rotate the navel over that left leg and exhale, fold over the leg. And we're going to just stay now. So you can hold on to the calf, the ankle, the foot, or if you're very flexible, maybe reach for the wrist. So the middle finger and thumb wrap around the left wrist. But either way, we're going to inhale, pull back for a moment, extend the spine first, and then exhale, take the navel in and fold. And now stay. Can you return to that breathing, belly, ribs, chest, exhaling, belly, ribs, chest. Remember to go through those layers. Keep releasing. Perfect balance of effort and ease. Last breath. And then begin to lean back. If you can, engage your arms in alignment with your ears. Press into the back of the leg, come back up. We're going to do an open twist here. So now left hand is going to go to the outside of the right knee, right hand behind you, and just rotate the navel to the right. So a little bit of a rotation, freeing up that spine.
Each exhale brings the navel back towards the spine and rotates you a little deeper. And then slowly unwind, sit tall for a moment. Just feel, you can either have your eyes closed or soft gaze. And we're going to do the other side. So right leg goes out to a slight angle. You can rotate the flesh if you'd like. Left foot to the inner thigh. Inhale, the arms reach up. Rotate the navel over the right leg as best you can. And now exhale and fold over that leg. And you can either hold the calf, the ankle, the foot, or if you've got the flexibility, you can wrap the middle finger and thumb around the wrist and just breathe here. So you might find it takes about 30 seconds for the body to acclimate. These little micro adjustments being done, and then settle in and really watch how, as you breathe deeply, the intelligence within the body finds that extra space without having to effort, but more from letting go. Good, last breath here. Now lean back with the chest. So you're engaging the spine, arms in alignment with the ears, press into the back of the leg, and slowly come back up. And now right hand's going to go to the outside of the left knee, left hand behind you, rotate the navel to the left. And just take your time. So no rush, ease into it. So there is a little bit of that muscular action as you deepen the rotation. And then again, can you get to that point where you can stay in the posture but let the breath unwind you the rest of the way? Good. Gently release. Come back to neutral. Take a moment to just sit and feel. So you can have eyes closed or soft gaze. Tall spine. And then extend both legs. Then bring the soles of the feet together. Again, hook the index middle thumb around the big toe like we did at the beginning of the practice. Lean back with the spine, lift the feet off the floor. And then if you'd like this time, option 2 is to open the legs. Bend the elbows, draw the sternum forward. You're balanced right on the edge there, the sit bones. Breathe here.
So again, navel is engaged, but we've got all that beautiful relaxation from the last forward bend. So can you stay in that effortless ease? And then those of you that would like to bring the feet together, keep the fingers around the toes, lift the sternum. If your balance is good, look up and bring in a slight back bend. And then gently release soles of the feet back down. And we'll prepare to come onto our backs. So if you're in a cooler room, you can put your socks and sweaters back on. And we'll do a few more closing poses before we prepare for Shavasana. Come down onto your back and bring your knees into your chest. So Apanasana, hands on top of the knees, but lightly hold them there. And inhale, reach the knees away from you just to arm's distance. And exhale, draw the knees back to the chest. Repeat that, please. Inhale, knees away just to arm's distance. And then exhale, use your core more and bring the knees back to the chest. And just a couple more times like this, just rolling over the sacrum. Really good for releasing that lower back. It's nice to end with a little gentle twist. So take the knees over to the left. As you look to your right, right arm opens up. Gazing over that right shoulder, relax the navel to the right. Keep letting go. Surrender the belly button. And then bring your knees over to the right, holding them there. Open the shoulder to the left, gaze over the left shoulder with the head and neck. Try to keep the knees stacked as best as possible. And then gently come back to center and give one more final squeeze to the knees. If you want, you can lift your forehead towards the knees, crunch everything up, and then prepare for Shavasana. Just allow the legs to extend all the way down, palms face up, shoulder blades tuck underneath you. Good, and then let go of the breath. So no more trying to shape or control the breath. Just let it be natural. And then bring your attention into your feet and just squeeze your feet for a moment and then relax them. And notice the difference between tension and relaxation. Now squeeze your calves in whatever way you can and then relax them. And notice the difference between tension and relaxation. Squeeze your upper legs and then relax them and notice the difference. Squeeze your glutes and pelvic floor and then relax it and feel the difference. Squeeze your abdomen, engage those muscles, and then relax. Feel softness in the belly. Squeeze your chest And then relax it and feel the difference. Squeeze your arms. So make a fist, squeeze the whole arm, and then relax it. Squeeze just your hands, and then relax them. Squeeze your shoulders up by your ears, squeezing your neck, and then just relax it. Squeeze all the muscles of your face, and then relax it. And now squeeze your whole body one more time, everything engaged. And then relax it. And just feel the difference between tension and relaxation, settling now into deep rest and relaxation. So very slowly begin to deepen your breath. When you're ready, you can start to gently run the thumb across your fingertips. Wiggle your toes. And to roll wrists and ankles. And without rushing yourself, just gently bring the knees into your chest for a moment. Lengthen your lower back, spine lengthens across the earth. And then roll over to your right side. Into fetal, let an arm be under the head as a pillow. Anchoring your hand deeply into the earth, slowly come back up into seated, head and neck heavy, eyes closed as you come up. And if you want to prop your sit bones up for a few moments of meditation, please do so. So once again, you can find Sukhasana, easy pose, cross-legged, or if you want to do half lotus on either side or full lotus, whatever's going to be comfortable and not distracting for the mind. And take a moment to find your breath again. Belly, ribs, chest, exhaling, belly, ribs, chest. And send your attention into the area of the third eye. Notice the area of the third eye like a blank movie screen. And as you gaze upon this blank movie screen, somewhere a few inches in front of the forehead, continue to hold your attention there. That's the effort. But do it with a place or a feeling of softness. And see if as you hold your attention there, images may begin to arise. When they do, try not to think those images. Sometimes they lead us down thinking patterns or thinking chains. But rather allow them just to arise and fade away. And if you do get caught in a thinking pattern, when you remember and realize, just come back. With this practice, if we over-effort, it'll be difficult for images to arise. And if we under-effort, same thing. So hold with conscious awareness, but in a relaxed and comfortable state. Begin.
If the mind wanders, bring it back. Continue to observe the screen of the mind. And then slowly begin to come back. Back to your breath, to your body. Back to this time and space. And as your breath deepens, lower your chin to your chest. And take a moment to bring your hands to your heart in prayer. And just go back to the intention that we set at the beginning of the practice to find this understanding Patanjali spoke of when he referred to yoga as being abhyasa vairagyam, balance of these two energies, effort and letting go. And we'll seal the practice with the chant of Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. So peace, peace, peace. Deep inhale in. Long exhale out. Another deep inhale in. Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for practice. Please like the video and share with family and friends, and subscribe to the channel so that you can see the latest videos that we offer. And in the description, there's a link to the Patreon account. We appreciate any donation that you can make. Namaste.